And it's another Friday afternoon, 12 noon Eastern Time. And what does that mean? It's time for another episode of the CVC Home Service Success Network. And whether you're watching us live or you're watching on the replay, as a whole lot of you guys do, we appreciate you being here. Our mission here at CVC Success Group is to do this broadcast to share with you ideas, processes, concepts, and hopefully many times be ahead of the curve. And that's kind of where our subject matter is today, to be aware of where the curve is now and where the curve is going. And what are we talking about? Well, one of the bad things about today's world is it seems like you are run by Mr. Google. It's like Mr. Google is everything.
Yep.
Mr. Google controls commerce. And if Mr. Google decides to take you off their maps, your phone stops ringing.
Oof.
And it's so much different because I was thinking in preparation for this back when I started my chimney service business many moons ago. All we had to do was have a Yellow Page ad. Everybody looked in the Yellow Pages. And for a competitor to be serious, they weren't going to get a traction until the next Yellow Pages was printed. And I can still remember our local Yellow Pages was printed every year in September. And when I got that book out, the first thing I went to was all the categories we were in to see who was the new competition in town. Who was I going to be up against? But the world has now changed. We ain't getting no Yellow Pages as a rule. Yeah, they're still out there. But let's face it, a serious competitor can come out of nowhere tomorrow and start spending a lot of money. And sometimes they're not even ethical business. Like we're seeing problems with people that are running Facebook promotions like crazy out there right now for different services. So the subject today is internet search. Where are we at today and where is it going to in the future? So as I thought about this, it's like, okay, I need a guest for this because this is outside my area of expertise because I'm just like anybody else and I work with clients all the time. And I'm pretty bad about giving marketing companies a hard time about why is the phone not ringing. You can see Stephen shaking his head
Absolutely.
because he
That's
works
a
with,
common thing.
yeah,
Yep.
he works with some of the companies that are my clients. And I've been involved with Stephen. I've done interviews with him for the company in different places when they were getting a new client. And I was involved with these discussions about how are you going to be better? What are you going to do for us? And I've watched how Stephen has brought information out that was very, very knowledgeable and helped me to understand and the client to understand how do you do this. So, Stephen, we're going to start with some questions for you. And I also appreciate you taking your time out today.
No
This is
problem.
not this is not a commercial for Stephen's company.
Right. That's right.
Stephen wants to share legitimate, answers for you. You see his email address up there. If you got a question after this is over with, feel free to email him and let him know, and he'll be glad to give you some answers. Because, like Zig Ziglar said, if you help enough people get what they want in life, they're going to help you get what you want in life. So, Stephen, let's start out with the first one here from me.
Yeah, for
Where are
sure.
we at presently on search? Why does Google own our souls in this day and time?
Oh my gosh. Well, it's funny that you brought up the Google business suspensions because, I mean, this has been happening nonstop lately. And for service businesses, this is one of the main drivers of leads. And it's a free listing. That's the beauty of it. So with Google Business, it used to be called Google My Business. Now they call it Google Business Profile. And that's where your reviews are, the local map pack. That is prime real estate for people when they're doing a search on Google. They're going to that section and finding the person that shows up in that those top three positions. No one's clicking the see more button. No one does that. So whenever you have rankings already, when you've had a business that was set up years ago, doing the old method of a postcard, some of you guys probably Remember those days when you could verify a business just by sending a postcard? Now you have to do a video walkthrough. You have to go in there. You have 60 minutes to walk through your business, show that you're a legit company. Because bottom line is, Google business was never made. Google never intended it to be for service businesses. They always intended it for storefront businesses. So us in the home service business, we've kind of taken advantage of it, and it's worked wonders. But now we're seeing Google is using AI. They're using a lot more automation in their review process, and that is why these listings are getting suspended.
Yeah.
Because these service area categories just aren't. It doesn't like seeing a physical address with that service category. But I mean, it's crazy now. Like, even your competitors, I've experienced this with my clients. Like, they can go in there and suggest an edit on the Google business. You know, there's like 3 dots by the Google business profile. You can say, this place isn't actually here, or just report it for no reason at all. And Google will do a check of that Google business. And if it is not up to their standards, you will get suspended. And it's just a scary thing right now, because bottom line is, you need to be prepared. Being prepared for those suspensions and having the evidence you need to get your Google business back up so that you're not losing those leads. But that's a whole topic in and of itself, Google business.
Correct. And Stephen, to my understanding, this is where a marketing company that has a relationship with Google knows how to fix this, because I've actually walked in the client locations before. In fact, with one of your clients that used to be another company, they were working with another marketing company, and I walked in one day and I said, "Hey, brother, what's going on? You're not on maps this morning." And he had no idea. He said, "Well, maybe that's why the phone hadn't been ringing." No kidding.
No kidding.
Everybody moving to get us back up. Talked to another company today, and they lost their Google presence about 6 months ago. Ended up having to start all over again.
Yep. And that is scary right there, because if you have those reviews built up, if you've built up over 500 Google reviews, there's times where Google, after a suspension, they won't even give you those reviews back.
Right.
And that's another process where you have to go through an automation. You have to go into a Google support and request an appeal for that. But the bottom line is just being prepared. If you have a storefront, a lot of blue collar workers, they're working out of a warehouse, but just making sure you have a business registration ready with your name, your company name, and the address, and it has to match your Google business. So that's the key, because when these suspensions happen, you have to present that evidence. So the best evidence is going to be a business registration, utility bills, or even a photo of your storefront showing your building with the logo. That's what Google likes to see when you're trying to get these listings back.
Got it covered. So Josh, I'm going to go to you. And you probably remember what was it like, because I actually sat with you and your mom when y'all were interviewing marketing companies some years ago, and the different things that you guys did at Magic Room and Tri-County Energy to maintain your presence in a very, very competitive market, which was a suburb of Washington, D.C. So you've got background in this. So what would be the first question that you would want to address to Stephen today?
So like while we're sitting here talking, I use DuckDuckGo as a backup search, right? And right now in DuckDuckGo, I typed in chimney sweep near me. There was only one local listing. Like, how out of all of those, and they weren't even, and that company wasn't even, it's 50 miles from me. The rest of them are these, someone's got their, oh my God, their website set up right, because there's someone up in the DuckDuckGo. They're like targeted for DuckDuckGo because they're showing right up. How do you combat that? Because I mean, they look like. I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, this is honestly, it could have been one of your websites. It looks really good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, who is this?
Yeah. Well, and it's funny you use DuckDuckGo. I mean, very few people are using it, but they do use it clearly.
It was when I was looking at analytics, it was anywhere from 10 to 20% on the month.
And that's Microsoft. So DuckDuckGo is using Microsoft's results. That's their primary search engine. So as far as doing better in DuckDuckGo, you'd have to do better on Microsoft and Bing. That's the answer there. So part of doing that, Microsoft is a totally different search engine than Google. Same thing with ChatGPT and Gemini. So ChatGPT is using Microsoft search engines whenever it pulls in what you see, like chimney sweep near me, it's going to pull in results from Bing Places. And then Gemini is, their competitor. They're pulling in Google Business. So that's the way it works there. But as far as DuckDuckGo, they're pulling in the Bing and Microsoft results. So that's why you want to be on top of making sure your website isn't just ranking on Google. It needs to be ranking on Microsoft as well. And And
if I remember, like that's the Microsoft thing is like its own business listing, right? You have to set.
It's totally separate. Yeah. Cause Google and Microsoft, they've gone head to head, those are the top two competing search engines. So,
and they got what Copilot built into your computer now, right? Which is theirs, which I've never used.
Yeah. And it comes pre-installed. So a lot of these, you got to think about it with the average homeowner and your demographic, they're just using whatever is already installed in their computer. That could very well be Microsoft.
It's definitely my parents, because they're using Apple devices. So whatever Siri's pushing.
Right. So that's bottom line is you want to be. Everyone talks about Google, but Microsoft gets put on the back burner. But as we're seeing more people use DuckDuckGo and Microsoft and ChatGPT, you're going to want to start submitting your website to Bing, Microsoft Webmaster. So really to get found by these search engines, you have to go to the Search Console. That's like, in geeky terms, that's what us web developers do. So when we build a website, it doesn't rank unless you say, hey, Google, hey, Microsoft, pay attention to me. And then you submit that sitemap. So I guess the bottom line is just there's two places you want to focus on, both Google and Microsoft. And the more people that are using ChatGPT, I'm saying get more reviews for Facebook and your Bing Places, because that's where those results are coming up from in ChatGPT.
And let me throw this in there because this is an ongoing conversation I have with people. I hate Facebook. I don't want nothing to do with it.
Same here, Jerry.
Yeah. And I tell them, I understand, but here's the problem. You're not creating your presence without this social media side.
Yep.
And you're not being found as good.
Right.
If you want to be that community expert, you got to speak on all the platforms.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what you're doing. If you're running for public office, you want to be on every news channel, not just Fox, not just CNN. You want to be on all of them.
Definitely.
So, Josh, did that answer your question, brother?
Yeah. And it's so forgotten about because I couldn't even tell you. Like, obviously, I can't even tell you the last time I used Bing. Which is actually right now I haven't used it in forever. And I typed it in, and they're saying there's a chimney company right behind my house. Is it so the question is, no, someone's got to go through and obviously clean these up.
Yep. Yeah. And Bart, he just put that's a good point. Like, you can sync these things. So whenever you have search the listing, your business listing, you can actually sync it so that the same information on your Google business is being shown on your Bing Places listing. So that's a good point.
Got you covered, brother. So Cheryl, your turn. What would you ask Mr. Allen, our friend Mr. Allen, Stephen Allen? What would you ask him today?
Well, I'm going to ask this because I know we have some clients and all that are doing this at this point. And it's not for me. I'm not planning on going anywhere. So, but they're relocating their business. One literally across the street from where he was at, which gave him trouble because then his address did not match his listing.
Right.
So can you give us a quick thing? Because I know that's not what this is about, but it may help someone.
Oh, that's definitely about this.
That's what I was going to say. This is exactly what this is about. So not just the short move, but what if you're moving into another town, Stevens, just in line with her question?
Yeah.
You move into an adjoining town.
Yeah. So this is a great question. I've had clients where they, move down the road or another town, but the bottom line is you want to keep your existing profile, your existing listing, right? Because you don't just want to create a new one. You're going to lose all those reviews that you've gained. So what you need to do first is your business registration. You need to figure out getting that updated. You want to update to have the same name and then the new address that you're moving to. That would be the first step, just so you can have proof that you are actually working outside of this new place. And then after that, once you have your official registration set up and your trademark name, then you would go and edit your address and you would change it. You would edit the existing location, and then Google might have you do a video verification. I mean, I've seen it where just by editing it, they make you walk through and do a video tour again. Or they may suspend you, because this is a big topic now for Google Business. If you change your name, if you change your address, your primary category, which the primary category is what, if someone searches chimney sweep, you're telling Google, like, that's my category, like it's going to show up. So like if you edit those, you risk suspension. So that's why we always tell our clients,
Wow.
don't just go in there and change your name or your address willy-nilly, because if you don't have the proper document set up to appeal Google after they suspend you, then you're out of business. You're going months waiting on Google's automation to get your listing back up. So the first step would definitely be getting official documents with this new address and having all the evidence you need. But it's doable. I mean, I've done it sometimes and it didn't even force you to re-verify it, just accepted it. So Google has their own mind. Like sometimes they'll just approve it, other times they'll suspend you. So it's better to be prepared. That's all.
Well, Stephen, I'm glad you brought that up, because rebranding is something that a lot of companies are doing.
Right.
And the rebrand sometimes means they are changing their name.
Yeah, exactly.
They're changing their name. And if you do this, if you got reviews, moving those reviews to that new brand, even though it's a great looking brand, it's a fabulous looking wrap on your truck and this great new logo. Rebranding is expensive, but just figure, what if this rebrand turns your phone off? And what Stephen's saying, that's very possible. So you want to be very, very aware and anticipate the downside. So Cheryl, did that answer your question?
Yeah, and I was going to go with the next section of, what happened when you changed your name, because even though it was similar, and we've seen it happen. So that was part of that was what I was more interested in, because I'm seeing it happen at this point.
Oh yeah, I've experienced it, and I've experienced trying to get a suspended listing back up, and it is not fun. Like, you have to know the inner workings of Google and the way they work to get these listings back up. So yeah, I would just say be prepared with the right evidence. And I mean, Google, marketing is such a big, there's so many things to cover. There's the local, the organic, there's also the paid side. But I'm just going to let Jerry lead this, because
Okay.
I don't know where you want to go with that.
Well, that was going to be my next question. We have organic search and we have paid search.
Correct.
And here's the question. As a company that wants to grow, are they going to have to pay to play on the platforms?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially in this industry and the industry of home service, just a chimney company. It's not the most exciting thing, to be honest, to the average homeowner. It's dirty work. So you can make it fun. And I love whenever these chimney companies will create videos in person. Like, we encourage our clients to always have entertainment. But as far as the actual lead gen from Meta, you got to put money in. And that's where you want to make sure you're using good targeting. So just your conversion actions, you're pretty much just not going after clicks, you're going after leads on your website. So you can tell Facebook what you want. You just have to know how to play their game. But yep.
you got to be able to identify who you want to see this.
Right.
And you're going to have to pay some money to have it seen.
That's correct.
Without that, it's not going to happen.
Only your followers. If you have a good following, your followers will see you. So say, I know several clients, they have over 1,000 followers and they're actively engaged on Meta, and it's fantastic. But if you just keep posting organically, they're the only ones seeing it. You won't be getting any new business from other homeowners. So it is pay to play, and it's also changing every day. And Meta is extremely glitchy, which Facebook and Instagram, it's and Jerry, this also brings up a good point where there is a difference between like posting on the front end of Facebook, your normal timeline, and then there is the back end. And this is where Facebook Ads Manager, that's the keyword. Facebook Ads Manager is where you're going to generate those quality leads.
Yep, I understand. So it is a pay to play. And, here's the key thing. You got to know what your total marketing cost is. You got to factor this into your cost of doing business, the cost of getting a lead. Because many times the cost of getting a lead in this day and time can be astronomical. It truly can. As I sit in these marketing meetings with clients and I hear the cost of lead generation, it blows my mind what we're paying just to make the telephone ring. And that means your people have to be top notch to convert every one of these. If you're marketing and getting calls, but your conversion rate sucks, you got to work in house. Like I said, so a company like Stevens, and there's others that they can make your phone ring, but the key comes down to your people. Are they converting them into appointments and customers? It's key. So Josh, back to you.
Yeah.
What else would you ask Stephen today?
So what about, like, as a form of advertising, geotagging a location?
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Like, you would tag the Ace Hardware or something like that, or just flat out tag your competitor's retail store?
Yeah, I mean, and you're talking about paid ads here.
Yeah, paid ads. Just this is as one channel,
and
then of course how we, I've been told, even though I use a lot of AI, I'm using more and more AI. I still use AI like a caveman, I was told by one of your competitors.
Yep.
Who knows me well.
Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point with like geotagging, because you do need to make mentions of these towns and in your website. I mean, we haven't even covered organic, but like using town names, that's what these search engines rely on, the actual name of that specific area. So definitely need to make sure that you're going after the proper keywords and the proper geographic area. So
Okay, so let me ask you a question on that on top of what you just said. How do you know what keywords to use, Stephen? And I know you've actually demonstrated this for me, but let's share with people. How do you know what keywords to use?
Right. Yeah, and this is where, you know, it takes some research. You know, anyone can do this. Just first of all, you can go to Google also and just start typing chimney repair, and like it's going to give you suggestions when you start typing. So those suggestions are one way. Those can kind of give you an insight onto what's trending. Another way is using a free tool called Google Trends. Google Trends allows you to put in different keywords, and you can see how often they're searched based on towns, based on states, and you can compare terms, and that's a big topic because a lot of people are like, there's a great debate, you know, chimney cleaning or chimney sweep, which keyword do I use? So this is a great tool. It's called Google Trends. You can go in there, compare different keywords, and see how much those keywords are getting searched monthly on Google. And it's a spoiler here, but chimney sweep is the #1 search term, and it beats chimney cleaning. But that doesn't mean don't use chimney cleaning, because chimney cleaning is also searched. So that's a good tool to use.
Correct. I understand. So that's good. So there are tools that can be used to track down. Is that what you do when you're working with a client? Is
Yes.
seeing what's trending and make changes in their website to this effect?
That's what you have to do, because without doing that, you're going in blindly. You know, like part of building a site is content, and that's something I want to briefly touch on. Is organically, you can rank without paying Google anything, and the big term is SEO, search engine optimization, and that is where you're building a powerful website with a ton of content, and that content needs to be relevant to what your users are searching. So before you even start writing these pages, you have to know what people are searching so you can write about it. So an example would be like a lot of our clients, we build a specific page for each service, right? You don't just put chimney company and have one landing page and, you know, talking about all of your services on one page. You need to have individual pages for each service, and that's what Google likes. So
okay, you see that question from Bart? Can you answer that?
Yeah, that's a great question. So optimizing for AI, the big keyword right now is GEO, generative engine optimization. And I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but generative engine optimization is exactly what Bart's talking about. You're trying to rank in these AI in ChatGPT or Gemini. So if you're doing the same things you're doing organically by adding content, getting new reviews on your Google business, building that up, you're going to rank in these AI platforms. So it's all these AI platforms are doing is just pulling from the best results in the search engines.
Got you.
So and that's where going back to the ChatGPT and Gemini. If you're trying to show on ChatGPT, you need to be optimizing on Microsoft. You need to be submitting your website to Microsoft so that it can be found in the search engines. So it's bottom line, it's just all SEO. It's content. That's the primary thing. You need to just keep building content on your website.
Well,
and over time, you'll rank better.
Right, but you got to remember, most people think guys like you just, hey man, you got my website written, you're charging me every month. Just what are you doing every month for me, Stephen?
Yep, consistency. Because if you're not adding new content every month, your website is just gonna fall to the wayside. And it's a big deal. We've seen that with our clients where we've gone in. Some of our clients were like, I don't want any new content moving forward. Let's just leave the website alone. Like, it's designed, we're good. But we looked at the analytics and they were down 50% year over year because we weren't adding active content. We weren't adding blogs. We weren't adding new town pages. And that's, town pages are, specific pages dedicated to your service area. So if you want to rank 20 miles down the road from you, you have to write a page talking about that town plus your service. So you have to be consistent. Google likes whenever you continually add to things and keep it fresh.
Yeah. Josh, anything else you would ask Stephen today?
Yeah, there's some other ones, like as I'm sitting there playing around, Angie's List is showing up in the search results.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one that I thought had kind of died off, but I'm sitting there looking at it and it's Bing is definitely pulling from Angie's List for these results.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, of course, I'm under the impression of just ranking. You want to rank outside of that through Google's search engine, our Microsoft search engine. That's what majority of people are using. They're not going into Angie's List and searching for a service. They're just searching on Google or Microsoft, or then the AI platforms, ChatGPT or Gemini. So it's just important to make sure your website's being found by these search engines, and it takes new content.
Well, like I said, Bing is pulling results and saying, "Hey, this business has so many Angie reviews," which I thought to be pretty interesting.
That is interesting, yeah.
So, Cheryl, what about you? You got any other questions for Stephen?
I actually have one that I was asked actually this week. Is the free version of GPT less? Does it do less than the paid version of GPT, or is there a difference?
Yeah, you get slightly more with the paid version, of course. I mean, I'm not diving in AI all the time. I like to use tools from Google, but the paid version does offer quite a bit more. I know more about Gemini because I'm a Google user. So typically,
let's talk about marry Gemini into this conversation, because a lot of people's never heard of it. So
right. So it's pretty much the same thing as ChatGPT, where you can put your prompts in, and it'll write out exactly what you need, pulling outside sources for you. So
I've been using it a lot this week just to help with the personal stuff that's going on, to get thoughts together.
Yep, it's a great tool, and that's where the AI video, which that's blowing up now, Google Veo. That's a big keyword. That's a big hot topic right now. Have you guys seen those videos?
Are you talking about my Bigfoot videos?
You're doing that? Okay.
I love those.
Yep. So that's Veo. You're producing videos with AI. That's done in Gemini.
Okay.
So, yep.
Okay. So
No, I just saw there was a big update to the paid version of Gemini this week too.
Cheryl, did that answer your question?
Well, it answered it where I can answer it now.
Okay, got you covered. So, Stephen, let's take a look in the crystal ball. What's down the road that people need to be doing to stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah, so I mean, in my field, it's just being consistent, continuing to do all media buy-ins. Like, you do have to put money into it. Bottom line is, like, if you think you're going to get leads from social media, you got to put money in there. So, like, staying on top of social media, posting regularly, staying up to date with the trends, coming up with content that's going to engage your users, right? So that's a big part of staying up to date, because if you're putting out boring content, no one's going to read it. No one's going to take the time. They're just going to click off and go to the next company. So, having engaging content is probably one of the biggest things. And then just targeting, who are you targeting?
Okay. So let me add there. And a lot of people ask this question, but what do I write about? What do I do? And that's where you do a little research.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big believer in R&D, research and duplicate.
Yeah.
What are other companies outside your market area doing? Or also go to ChatGPT and ask the question, or Gemini, or whatever you're using for your AI arm, and come up, because it all what I'm hearing Stephen say, it's all about developing content, and you got to keep growing this. If you just put a website up and you're not growing it, it's not going to provide you the fruits of the labor that you're looking for. Stephen, would that be accurate to say?
100%. And that goes to say with like any place you're trying to show up, let's talk about organic. Organic is you're not paying Google anything to show up. You just have a solid website. You've developed a website that has a lot of content. And for example, our clients, when we build a website, we build websites that when we launch them, they have over 50 pages of content. And that's what it takes to rank nowadays. You can't just expect a 1-page website or a 5-page wonder website to rank against these competitors. You have to have pages for your specific services that you offer. And these aren't just short paragraph. These pages, that they have 500 words on each page. And those words include what's called meta tags, alt tags, and there's the back end, the geeky stuff, all those keywords you want on the page. These pages allow you to have keywords that's going to allow you to optimize for these search engines. So you need a powerful website, first of all. You need somewhere to drive your traffic to. Because if you're running Facebook ads, or if you're putting money into Google ads, and if you're sending them to your website, and if that website is not presentable, they're just clicking off, and then that's just money wasted. So I would say the website is probably one of the biggest things. If you're doing any form of digital marketing, you need somewhere to send them to. So
you need a well-rounded marketing plan.
Mm-hmm.
You need social media. You need Google. You need to update your Google My Business page, or whatever you're calling now. Social media, ongoing building content, blogs, videos. You got to be reaching out, and you got to be what I call speaking to your community all the time. Would that be true, Stephen?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and you gotta think about your audience. Who is your community? Like, put yourself in their shoes. And I think that's kind of where we get lost as company owners or as business owners. We're just doing our thing. We're out in the field, running a business, and we don't often think about the homeowner.
Yeah.
Like, what do they want to see?
Well, my definition of your community is the people who do business with you and the people who may do business with you. That's your community that you got to be speaking to. You got to become that community expert. I've wrote articles about this. We've talked about this before, but become this community expert by having this voice reaching out. Well, Stephen, my friend, I want to thank you for your time today. This has been very, very interesting. If you're listening, if you're watching, you can see Stephen's email address is up on the screen. If you have a question, send an email to Stephen. Maybe he can help you out.
Yeah, just don't send all those suspensions at once. I don't think I can handle fixing all these suspended businesses.
I hear you, man. And with that, we want to thank you for being with us here on this episode of the CVC Home Service Success Network. We will not be doing a presentation next Friday. Cheryl and I will both be out of town, so we're going to be skipping next week. But I hope, hey, you'll get by without us, I'm sure. And we'll see you the following Friday. And as always, I want to thank you for joining us. As always, it's an honor, it's a privilege, and it's a pleasure to have you with us every one of these episodes. Feel free to share this out with others if you think it will help them and where they're going. Bart, Gree, thank you very much. It was a great episode today. Stephen, thanks a lot, brother. We'll talk to you later, okay?
All right. Thank you.